Okay, so we're back, guys. I'm gonna do another airsoft review. This will be my second airsoft review, and I think I'm gonna have a lot more in the future to come. I just started getting back into airsoft. I played a little bit when I was a teenager, kind of when I was a kid, and now I'm sort of trying to revisit the sport and maybe play a little bit with my brother and a couple of my buddies in the woods around here and have some fun with collecting the guns and reviewing them. So this will be my second edition, and today we have a very special feature. Is the ASG Franchi Spas-12 tri-shotgun. So you can see there's a nice little emblem here that says Franchi on there, Spas-12. It looks real official, kind of like, the Terminator style you see Arnold Schwarzenegger use in Terminator, and or some of the, Call of Duty style, real U.S. military models that, look badass like this. And it is just such a solid gun. It really feels realistic in my hands. This part is definitely a little more flimsy than an actual shotgun. I have shot a few real shotguns in my life, throughout my childhood and whatnot. My grandpa, Steve, is a shotgun enthusiast. He's a great shooter himself. So I got to learn about, the feel of real guns and kind of how to hold them and shoot them and whatnot. And this feels pretty realistic. However, this front part here, I guess you'd call it the grip or the receiver, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the grip you would call it, foregrip. Kind of is cheapy, as you can hear it almost. Listen, it has that cheap feeling and sound to it, which is kind of unfortunate because the rest of the gun, honestly, for the price point, is such a steal, is such an official replica. They did such a good job at everything else besides this one part, which still probably won't break. I don't think I can foresee it cracking or breaking with my usage of it, but for more serious players who maybe have a field around their town or play inside, and lean against walls and run into shit, this could probably crack, actually. So let me just show you. I'll dry fire this. Well, actually, there are some BBs in here. So first of all, before I get into firing it or dry firing, let me just go over the release here and show you kind of the mechanism behind shot storage where you'll keep your BBs. So there is a small lever here. My camera kind of sucks, but you should be able to see this small lever next to the trigger. And if you pull down on it, it actually releases like this flap, like on a real shotgun. Like you see in the, SOCOM military models and whatnot. This little flap will come down, and this shell replica looks like a real shotgun shell, which is really neat. I think a lot of other guns in this price range and some of the more expensive 3-barrel shotguns for airsoft are using these now, and this is new to me. When I played as a kid, we never had anything like this, but this is really cool, actually. It reminds me of my Super 9 I used to use, which is like a sniper rifle that uses ejecting shells, which kind of was a pain in the ass, actually. So I have this cute little speed loader here that came with the 2 shells and the Franchi shotgun. And I do have some biodegradable BBs, and I'm going to show you kind of how the Franchi loads up. This is how you load a speed loader, by the way. There's a little flap here that comes down. You'll pour the BBs in very slowly because it only holds about 150. It's about good. Maybe 100, actually. Doesn't really hold a ton of BBs, which means you need 3 or 4 speed loaders in your pocket when you're playing. Okay, so here's the shell, which you can buy on evike .com, you know, or maybe Airsoft GI. I don't really like that one a whole lot. They take forever to deliver, but they're a pretty decent supplier of things. So anyways, what you'll do is there's a port. As you can see, my BBs are already in there. I already loaded this beast. And there is a small loading spring, which will get pushed down as you fill to kind of keep the BBs tensioned in place in there, so that they do feed up through the porthole here, feeding hole. So this is how you would reload. I can't do it because it's already full, but you would stick this into the top here, your speed loader, and you would just, you know, click your speed loader, and it literally just pushes BBs right into there perfectly without an issue. So this one is loaded. Once your cartridge is loaded, it does say on the cartridge 3x10. Let's see if you can see it here. Shell 3. Okay, so there we go. 3x10 rounds. Got it. It's hard to see on camera, but basically what's going on with this thing is this holds 30 rounds, and your gun, the ASG Franchi, has inside of this has 3 barrels. Actually, there are 3 individual barrels hooked up to the same pressure valve, or the same you know, shooting mechanism, so that you're getting 3 BBs out of the end of your barrel every shot. So you get 10 shots out of this cartridge. So the shell. So you put the shell in the bottom here with the BBs facing the barrel. If your BBs were going this way and your metal part was facing the barrel, it wouldn't do anything. That's not how a shotgun works. A shotgun actually ejects out of the opposite side you would think it would. It's not a Nerf gun, right? This is the powder charge at the end here in a real shotgun, and this is where the buckshot would fly out. So basically it's like a real gun. So you put this in, it slides right in there. Make sure there's no BBs in there jamming it. Sometimes, you know, there could be a BB lodged in there by accident. So there's nothing. So just push this in very carefully. It slides right in there perfectly. You can close your trap door here, whatever you want to call it, flap, and it just clicks in place. Once it's in there, you take it off safety, which is next to the trigger, and I will fire into my pillow just to show you guys. I got a pillow in my room I can shoot. This is kind of how it works, and this is a hard cocking pull for some reason. A lot of people complained, and I would highly agree that for some reason the cocking effort with this ASG Franchi Spas-12 is like really difficult, even worse than an actual 12-gauge shotgun. So here we go. It makes a nice official cocking sound like a real gun, and you're probably not going to be able to see really anything. I'm going to try to point the camera in the right direction, but it is definitely a tricky angle. So I'll shoot over here, and you'll be able to hear it, but you won't be able to see it. And that's that. You can shoot pretty quick with it. Ready? So you can get it is a bitch. Excuse my language, my vulgar language, but it is truly a pain in the arse to cock. It's worse than a real 12 gauge or any 20. I think there were 20 gauges that I might have shot that were way easier to cock than this airsoft gun. But that is really the only downside I can see. I couldn't find a hop-up adjustment. Really, in my opinion, I don't think a gun like this needs a hop-up adjustment, and it also doesn't need something like a scope. If you're going to use this gun, really it would be used for like CQB or maybe some mid-range woods matches where you're in some brush and you're just kind of picking people off. It's sort of quiet. It is rather quiet. I think if you were hidden with, you know, a ghillie suit or some sort of cover, you probably could hide pretty well and kind of snipe with it. It also could be really effective at like CQB, like if you're playing indoor and you want to run around a corner and just take somebody out really fast. This might be a perfect gun for that, especially since it's long. It's definitely not inaccurate. Like I field tested it a little bit in my backyard here, and I was shooting out about 40 feet at some targets. At the furthest range, I think I was going anywhere from 25 to 45 feet. And it was really accurate at both ranges. I was easily able to hit, you know, a 12-inch by 10-inch piece of paper pretty solidly with this thing. And my groupings actually were decent, especially with 3 BBs coming out of here at one time. It is truly giving you the feel of a real shotgun when you're out there. It is kind of less powerful than, say, my JG Mac 10, which I did review. The Mac 10 is actually more powerful than this gun, and it's funny because look at the size difference here. Obviously, the Mac 10 is much smaller, but is a little bit more accurate, I think, and more powerful too as far as like feet per second goes, with the BB velocity, which is a little disappointing. But at the same time, this gun is only going to cost you $70, where that JG Mac 10 is going to cost you $100. With this gun, you don't have to buy any replacement parts like batteries and magazines and whatnot. For the most part, you're ready to go right out of the box. You're ready to take people down right out of the box. So a lot of people actually like spring guns for that reason, and a lot of beginning players kind of gravitate towards like springers for some reason, because like with spring guns, there's not a lot of maintenance, and you can really just kind of play out of the box with them. Not to say it'll be any good or OP or anything, but this gun just feels so badass, especially with the sawed-off look to it, where, well, not so much sawed-off, but the fact that there is no stock. It's kind of like a pistol grip shotgun, you know, something you'd see out of like a zombie killing movie, or the U.S. military maybe using on like a secret mission or something, or Arnold himself, you know, in Terminator. It just really feels cool. The only pain was the cocking effort. Really was the only issue I had with it. Other than that, I was able to, you know, place some pretty good groupings, and the power behind the shots are okay. I would be afraid if, you know, some guy came at me with this thing in a match. It definitely is a little intimidating, and I would say it owns up to the looks as far as power goes. I can't really do like a shooting review on it in this video. Maybe I could take like a separate video about, you know, target shooting. I don't have like a great camera for filming any of that, and I'm doing all this off of like a smartphone, so I might invest in like a better camera so I can do some shooting reviews on my new guns. And I do plan on maybe picking up a couple new guns as well in the next year. So look forward to some reviews. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. You might get some guitar and like snowboarding and other random stuff too if you do subscribe. And I'm kind of an interesting guy, I suppose. So I also smoke pot, and that's legal here, so don't give me any issues. But if you're interested in like cannabis, you might be kind of into my channel, because I like to delve into that topic a little bit as well, and growing and stuff like that. So peace out, guys. Enjoy the airsoft. Get out there with your friends, even if it's just one-on-one, and you know, just play airsoft. It's a pretty cool sport. It's a lot like paintball, and those two sports kind of go hand in hand. Peace out, guys.